All right, welcome back to Renaissance Boys. This episode is not live due to a few technical complications, but we're just gonna have the show as normal this week and then upload it to YouTube. Hopefully, everyone's listening here on YouTube get to experience the show as it should be. We got a whole bunch of topics this week, whole bunch of interesting stuff, whole bunch of gaming news. Let's just jump into it.
Absolutely, Elias.
That saying's copyrighted.
Let's just jump into it. My best Philly D impression. So, first big piece of news that just happened. Half-Life 3 confirmed. The internet is finally exploding again.
1.5.
It's Half-Life 3,
It's
quote
not
unquote.
I don't know. I don't know how to say it.
Half-Life Alex?
Is it just Alex?
Yeah.
It's spelled weird.
But then it's a different voice actor for Alex, so
Yeah, so
kind of
basically,
disappointing.
Ooh, really?
If you listen, it's not. It's
couldn't
a bit
be
off.
him.
Her,
basically,
Alex.
Alex.
it's a
Her,
new
yeah.
game from Valve called Half-Life Alex. It was revealed today.
2 hours ago.
Yeah,
Yes.
2 hours ago. And basically, it's a VR title in the Half-Life universe. I'm not exactly sure if it's like 1.5.
It is.
But you can pre-order it.
Nice.
Nice.
Love that.
So yeah, you can pre-order it now.
Comes out March 2020.
I'm basically just so excited that there's at least another Half-Life game, because the internet just needed some closure. It's been so long since Half-Life 3 has been a meme.
Half-Life kind of holds up really well too. Like I was playing Gmod the other day, and like just like even like the water in the game, like it doesn't look like terrible. Like for considering its release date, I mean.
It's just so long running in the internet culture that the fact that we've gotten anything
Plus like
that's
the
not
Half-Life 3 memes.
anything that's not like a bug fix to Half-Life 1 and 2 10 years later is much appreciated.
It's funny that we discussed that too.
Yeah, it's just finally there's something of actual like note in
Some substance from the company.
in the Half-Life fandom. Have you guys seen the trailer yet?
I have.
I
Yeah.
have as well, actually.
What do you guys think?
I mean, I'm excited to see like what or how they use the platform, especially for like a VR title, especially because to me a VR title within that universe makes sense. Like even just like playing like, and I know that this is another Gmod reference, but like playing sled build with like VR just like makes inherent sense to me. Like I'm hoping that they take what Alex is and let people kind of do what they did with Gmod, if that makes sense. Like for
Yeah, like
VR, because I
modding
think
it,
that would be like where the game would fulfill like a higher potential than maybe just like a little like story type thing.
I think that it's got really good potential because I think Half-Life is a really, really like classic PC horror kind of game. You know what I mean? It just and fitting it to something that's like VR. Like VR is just works so well with horror games. I think it's just like kind of inherently like a good thing to have on the system. Just like unique stuff. So I'm super excited to at least like see people play it. March 2020
If
release.
you pre-order now, you get 10% off, and it will be available on the standalone Oculus Quest through PC Link. When
Ooh.
that,
Which means that I get to play because Clayton owns one.
Which
on
is
one.
sick.
It's sick.
Oculus Quest, by the way, for anyone for anyone who's ever considering like buying anything VR, definitely should consider getting an Oculus Quest.
Especially if you don't have a PC, because you need kind of a powerful PC to run VR games, and it's nice. It's kind of, I mean, it's 400, I think, for like the lower end model.
It's
Yeah.
kind of cool
And the
just to be able to like
games-
play outside, bro.
Yeah, in an enclosed outdoor space though, because I mean, you don't want to get it wet or anything.
Well,
That'd be
right.
ridiculous.
I'm just saying that like I don't know, like even in my like backyard where we played.
Yeah.
What was the game?
Super hot.
Super hot, super
fun.
fun.
So fun in VR.
Yeah.
Another one that's really good, like Robo Recall. Like, there's just a whole bunch of good VR games. And because it's just been around so long, people have like gotten, like, there's just so much choice now in VR games. Whereas if you played like right when it came out, you had like not
Indie
very many
games.
games.
What do you guys think of the pricing of VR games? Since like they're pretty much like historically shorter, but they still
Yeah.
seem to get like full price releases.
They are pretty expensive.
I mean,
because
that's
I know I spent
fair.
like when I got my Quest, I immediately bought Beat Saber and Super Hot,
Mhm.
and those two ran me $60. And on the Quest, Beat Saber doesn't have any workshop maps or like any features like that, so you're playing like 25 different songs, and that's it.
And they don't have any room for expansion at all.
They have like DLC like I haven't played
that's
in a
lame
while.
though. Like,
Yeah,
'cause,
like you can
I
get
feel
like
the
Imagine
mass
Dragons for like
appeal-
$10.
That's
and-
lame. I feel like the mass appeal of it is literally just like that. Like, or at least on PC, it seems to be that like just import whatever song you want and then play.
Yeah.
Like I
It's
don't
still
Play a map.
entertaining, but
I really think that VR is
becoming
more for the
mainstream.
yeah, not only becoming mainstream. I think it's more for like the experience than the actual gameplay. Because I think the gameplay loops cannot be super complex. Like you can't run a super like difficult game. Like you won't want to play like Modern Warfare for like 30 hours a day. You know what I mean? Like you
Well,
won't
Can't play any game for 30 hours a day.
you listen. But I just genuinely like no one wants to play like a super complex game for like that long. It's just you want to have something simple and like with intuitive
Yeah.
controls. So like it kind of stinks that they're expensive, but at the same time you have to consider like the development
Yeah.
for that, and it's like kind of difficult.
And
So
I'm glad you mentioned how intuitive it is, because it is. I mean, you use your body as, and so you just pick it up, like grabbing weapons in Super Hot. You just grab.
Oh,
and
but
it's
the
that.
sweat, bro.
The sweat.
Like literally, like I would do that over a cardio workout any day of any week. Like just
Yeah.
like by the time I finished, like I don't even think I finished the full game of Super Hot, and I was like
super hot.
Yeah. Every VR
Oh.
headset needs to come with some like.
some
Dude,
wet
don't-
wipes, bro.
yeah, don't-
like
but sweat wipes, yeah.
Sweat
Just
wipes.
wipe the stuff off afterwards.
Yeah,
Also, I
it's-
hate you for your pun.
That's okay. Don't worry about it. No, we'll just
How-
gloss right on past
How
it.
far do you think we are from Ready Player One in terms of that VR world?
See, I haven't seen the movie, but what I know about it, I need to see it. But what I know about that movie is, I think we're a little ways away.
I actually think that to an extent, like it, as far as just like not having, we don't have necessarily like something that will like put like where you could just start running around and stuff. Or I mean, like there's like the start of that tech. Like I've seen like little like treadmills with people playing VR
Yeah.
and stuff. Like I get that that's sort of there, but I feel like we almost already are there, just in the sense that like what is GTA other than like a place where you're like, let me go live this better, different life or whatever. I know that it's not that serious, but it's like
Well, I
the
think
games are already in the direction of like simulated fantasy.
and if they do it, what you were suggesting, like make a Gmod out of VR Half-Life, a lot of like roleplay stuff happens on Gmod all the time. So like you can easily turn Gmod into like a Ready Player One type.
I genuinely think that there's already the starts of that in terms of like the roleplay and stuff. Because Pavlov is really good.
You got like VR chat and stuff.
VR chat as well. I know it was really popular. There's like, there are like content like I obviously don't watch it on YouTube, but like if you ever like stumble into that part of YouTube, there's like just there's it's just like its own little community of just people that like constantly upload VR content. I think it's super appealing, but like I wonder how much bigger it'll get, or if it will just kind of stay at pretty stagnant.
I definitely just think like as far as just like if you just look at progress historically, like, you know, we started with Pong, which are just two white paddles and passing a ball back and forth, and now we have like The Witcher 3, where you just have this whole world of like insane fantasy to dive into. Like if we did that in 50 years, then like who's to say that we won't have Witcher VR
Next year.
like I don't know, within the next 10 to 20 years. Like I feel like that's realistic.
Yeah, it's
Like-
not too bad. So next topic, want to talk about Modern Warfare a little bit. There's been some patches, been some time to like actually,
Rebalancing.
yeah.
The 725 has finally been sort of slain.
Bill's been fired. He's been let go.
Please.
Nobody knows
Dude,
who Bill is.
he was a dreamer,
Bill's
dude.
Bill's lost to time.
Oh yeah, because he forgot to record it.
Yeah, it's not a problem. It's not a problem. It's not a problem.
No, it's just, it's what I'm responsible for while I'm here.
You're responsible for the death of Bill. You killed
That's on
Bill.
your
I
hands.
killed him.
You killed Bill. He's gone.
To be honest
forever.
with you, I don't think anybody's mad about it because that guy was a terrible person
He's a terrible
who makes
developer.
bad decisions for video
He was a
games.
dreamer.
So
Innovator.
since we're not gonna explain, since we no one explained this bit, Bill was basically a guy that Joey said was responsible for making the 725 into this just crazy overpowered weapon.
Literally, he just like looked at everybody at the table and he was like, "Listen, guys, I have this idea about how we could make something that the community will universally hate just everybody."
But also use because
Oh, well, I mean,
because everyone likes being cheesy.
no, I know, but like, did you guys see like the COD stats article that came out the other day that it's down to like 5%?
Yeah.
That's good. People are using other weapons finally, which is good.
Yeah.
Because weapon diversity is actually something that's really nice about Modern Warfare. You know, like the gunsmith system, just being able to customize your weapons. So in so many different builds, it's really just nice.
Like, just my PKM build right now is starting to get towards like having as fast ADS speed as like the actual normal AK, and having like the 100-round drum mag. So like, or not drum mag, but belt fed, but still like
Crazy fast. Crazy fast.
like it's just crazy like how different.
Not
things
that
can change.
the AK ADS time is remarkable.
No, I know
but
it's not remarkable. I'm just saying that, like, even to get it to that point for an LMG, which historically are supposed to have like these terrible ADS times and like I guess like hold choke points, like I'm able to play more aggressively with that, and that's just like the fun for me of this game.
Yeah, I think that they did a really good job with the customization, especially when you consider like what we used to have in terms of like customization. Because if you play Black Ops 2 or if you
The
play
Pick
like
10.
Pick 10 was not very fun.
But competitively, it's really good.
Yeah,
Because it just puts everybody on a level playing field.
Yeah.
Everybody gets to choose their 10 things. You can compromise on certain things. Admittedly, like, it kind of sucked at times because, like, I agree that it's more fun to be able to have, I guess, like, every weapon be more individualistic instead of, like, historically, like, for Black Ops 2, just as an example, like, the XM8, the burst assault rifle, the competitive burst assault rifle. I forget what it was called. But for the most part, people would only run stock, which let you ADS speed, like, was higher, and then, like, the reflex. And, like, that was, like, generally, like, what you did. Like, it wasn't, like, you had a bunch of different, like, options of things that were, like, super viable. Or, like, the MSMC always had, like, a grip and that sort of thing. I don't know.
I think that it's really good for being able to like allow diversity of different options. Still haven't seen anything about Call of Duty Pro Scene yet.
I wonder how the gunsmith is going to affect the pro scene, because like the pro scene usually bans things that are considered broken by the community.
I don't
and
think
you can definitely
I don't think anything's broken in
Well, no,
in
no.
the gunsmith.
but I wonder if they're going to have certain builds that like you just won't be allowed to use, maybe.
I don't know, though.
I
guess,
think
like,
so.
what I assume will be banned will be things like launchers
Well, yeah.
or
C4.
C4.
Hopefully.
If you shoot a launcher at B flag in domination,
You're a cuck.
said perfectly.
Yeah, I cannot stand the launchers. Like, it's you want to play. Like, I understand if you want to just screw around and have fun,
The
but like,
spam in this game for explosives is unprecedented.
it is so annoying.
It's crazy.
It's like Nate spam in Bad Company too. Like,
or Battlefield 4, man.
it's
Like when
so
like
bad.
everybody was just chucking nades everywhere. Like that's how I feel this game is at times. Like for me,
you have to run EOD.
you have like, and if you have a class where you're like, but I want to run quick fix or overkill or whatever, then like you need to run specialist on that class because you almost have to get EOD. Like I die so often to just like a random nade just comes out of blue, or C4 lately for certain maps. Like right now, Piccadilly B spam seems to be pretty high, especially because like to
It's so
cap that flag,
confined.
it's really confined.
And so like you don't even have to really get your explosives at the flag, even just relatively near it, and you have nowhere to go.
One of the other annoying parts, gun runner on B flag. People just shoot RPGs into the corner. That's like, it's just not fun. I'm just enjoying everything else. I'm glad most of the guns feel balanced, but like one hit kills are like not super fun. I'm not enjoying playing against RPGs because it just feels cheesy.
Well, it's definitely just like instead of taking the gunfight, it just gives you an out. Just like literally just like I'm gonna get a free, like almost a free kill. Like we play with our friend Nerd from Prince Edward Island, Canada. Go find him.
God bless him.
Go find him, he says.
Go find him.
Brilliant.
He's only got one way on and off the island.
That's
can't
true.
Run.
We
He
can
can't
just
run.
hold the bridge.
Anyway, like, dude, just like I mean, like I have no issues with him or whatever, but like he's running his Pila right now, and it's almost like it's weird if I don't see like for every time he spawns like at least one Pila kill, like.
Yeah.
Like that's just crazy to me. Like
I think
just
he's
a
planning
free
on
kill.
getting it gold.
No, I know he said that, but like just a free kill though. Like imagine just I don't know. It's just so.
Even I might run it. I might run a Pila on my classes just so when I'm like one kill off my gunship, I can just know I have it.
You have it.
Yeah.
Other than that, I think the game's in a pretty good spot.
Right
I'm at
now,
least having a
everything
good time with it.
Everything right now, I like the balance of it, like where it is.
I think some guns need a little bit buffed, but like other than that, I think it's really good. Most of the SMGs feel really solid. MP5 is super fun. I'm having a lot of fun with the MP5. I think I just got it like finished. So like I just completed my build for it.
I just
wish they
would fix the gold camo glitch. I just want my gold MP5.
Clayton is 6 kills away from gold camo, and he cannot get it because the game will not let him, and it is so agonizingly close.
And it's even worse too that it's not just Clayton. Like across the board, MP5 things aren't tracking right now. Like what is happening? Like,
Yeah, there's been so many like weird issues with tracking. I don't understand how that happened, but I mean,
especially since it's like it's an integral part of the game. Like it's like a
part of
big
the grind.
It's a big part of the game this year. A lot of the grinding challenges.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm having fun with just the gameplay of it.
I really enjoy it.
I think hardcore is super fun for some different weapons. It makes like the M13 feel like not a garbage weapon.
Bro, it makes
It
my
most
favorite
weapons feel
part
good.
about hardcore is literally just that most weapons then, especially if you're grinding for early on attachments, like feel pretty good. And you can kind of get through like the first 10 to 15 levels without going through like the super like struggle phase where like for the M13, I know Clayton's been just like, this is just the worst thing ever. And like I believe him because I
feel
didn't
like
really
people are just absorbing my rounds.
They are. It's because it's that weak in regular core.
It's got a high fire rate, but
And low recoil, but no damage. It's like
Didn't they
MPX
nerf
and Siege.
5.56 across the board?
they
No.
did. Back when they
Do they really?
when they
Yeah.
nerfed the M4.
They nerfed
Oh.
5.56 all across the board. That's why I thought that at that point maybe people would make the switch to other ARs, but then it just kind of
I
didn't
have
go
been
that way.
getting killed by like AKs more,
Yeah, AK seem better.
which is annoying because, of course, they buffed 7.62 rounds, or not buffed, but
They nerfed the alternative to 7.62.
alternative after I get the AK gold, which makes my life easy.
Anyway, I really think that it's a lot of fun though. Just playing with most weapons feels really good in hardcore, especially. Like I cheesed like 30 rounds or 30 levels out of my revolver in hardcore.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it's cheesy though.
Well, it's just one shot kill in hardcore, which is not how it is in regular core.
Well, I know, but like,
Maybe if you hit your headies.
If I was good, I could hit headies. I'm not good at that. I can shoot people, I just can't hit them. Right in the head. Not happening.
I
That-
guess like what I'm wondering too is like, do we think that SMGs need to be in a better place, or we think that they're right where they're supposed to be
I
right
think
now?
I think they're in a good spot. I've been using the AUG too. It's really nice, especially after the buff.
I think that 9mm can use a little bit of a buff. At least at range. Just like a little bit.
I just kind of worry. The only thing I really worry about, I guess, is just like I've been seeing like the MP7 kind of slay lately, and like I know that like or maybe I'm wrong, and they're running 10 mils, and I just couldn't tell, but like the high fire rate 9mm type guns seem to still be pretty strong.
I
Like,
think if you run an SMG and maybe throw on a laser just so you get some extra hip fire accuracy, and you kind of get out of the habit of just double tapping shift off spawn and just running like with your gun up, or just quick sprinting or whatever it's called, tactical
tac
sprint.
sprint.
Yeah, if you can do that, so you get weapon readiness over, like throw on maybe, I think stippled grip tape does sprint to fire.
Sprint to fire.
Yeah, and just throw that on there and play your SMG how it's supposed to be played. You're gonna do all right.
The MP7 build for hipfire. It takes a long time to get because I was playing with it in custom games. It like can shred people like without even ADSing it pretty crazy distances. MP5 is not as good just because of like the nature of the spread of it, but like MP7 will shred people.
Yeah.
But it's just in some instances I'm using an MP5 and I'm like 4 hit markers and I'm just like, oh really? Like I'm like that close to killing the person and then they just like get away or something.
Yeah.
Or stim or whatever. But like it's not too bad. I think playing with 10 mils or even the 9 mil MP5 isn't too super terrible.
The 10 mil MP5 is where it's at, though. Like,
yeah.
Especially, and some people are like, oh, but then the recoil gets out of control. No. If you've got maybe like the stippled plus, like, I think I've been running the Commando, but I'm not sure.
Merc foregrip.
Maybe the Merc. It's not, I really can't remember. But like, everything seems to be hitting really well now. But I still feel the need to like have like a longer range secondary just because of how often there's these sight lines, bro, that you just can't really challenge with an MP5.
Yeah.
I think the SMGs are in a really solid place for like mid to close range engagements, but the problem that I have with them is that I feel like I get really outgunned at some distances, which makes sense. You're not gonna kill me with thing, but if you're running that as your long range, you're not gonna do super well. Mm-hmm. So it's probably on me, but at the same time, I don't know. I think it's a little bit underpowered for the 9 mil because it's 10 mil is so like desperately needed for an MP5 build. At least in core, hardcore you can run it in 9 mil.
Hardcore, the MP5 is so ridiculous. It's crazy. Like I don't remember exactly what the streak was the other day. I think it was like an 15 or a 16, something like that I hit with an MP5 in hardcore, and I was like, what is happening? Like, or like not in ground war, by the way, because I feel like that's where most people are like hitting crazy streaks.
Probably.
Which is so weird because I can't imagine Battlefield as a game for like crazy streaks unless you're in a vehicle. But I mean, I guess people are hitting whatever.
Yeah, I streak high in 6v6 game modes.
Yeah.
But in ground war, I can't. I just
I can't get momentum.
Yeah.
I can't get momentum. And I think that's part of the like. At least to me, it's like it feels like designed that way, but I don't know.
The roof campers on
I
that
was about
stupid
to say,
city
yeah.
map. Oh, I hate them.
16 stories, and then there's only 2 options for getting up there.
You can
or
either
3.
run the
Okay?
16 stories,
Run the 16
or
stories.
you can just take the zip that
And
has a claymore.
Guaranteed, literally without fail, you'll
Yeah,
have a claymore there.
I really don't know.
Or a helicopter, I guess. But like,
there's a supposedly a huge update coming down the pipeline.
I'm
for
really
Modern
excited
Warfare,
because December is supposed to be like the like big start of the season because we're technically in like season 0 right now, which I don't know any other game that did this. I know there's some that did it, but like I think Siege had like a year like 0 where they just like had the operators but like no DLC.
Yeah.
So like that we're in like the pre-season.
I
so
hope they don't expect me to get those 100 challenges done by December because I'm at like 50 right now, which is a lot. But
yeah, I don't know what they're planning to do, but whatever it is, I think it's gonna change the game a lot. There's rumors of a battle royale.
Yeah.
Which I think would be
makes sense. Fun. And or like I hope that for the BR map that they include some of their classic maps as well into like
a Black Ops 4 BR type thing
integrated into
like,
the map.
Yeah, just like I've heard rumors of like Boneyard and like that sort of thing, or even like some of the Spec Ops maps could like work if that, or like the MW2, MW3 like Spec Ops maps. I'm thinking more MW2 because that's where my nostalgia is, but
I mean, I don't know. I really think that it'll be interesting. I want to try it at least because I think it'll be a fun battle royale, at least to like play for a few rounds.
Yeah.
I hope that they don't add armor. I know a lot of people are like, but we need it because the time to kill would be way too fast. But like, I feel like just sticking to like the COD formula of it just being like just like snappy, and like if you're in a better position, you do it, then you do it. Like I don't know, it just feels better to me.
I think having armor would be nice, because in like Black Ops 4, you had armor and like 150 health.
Yeah.
Right. So like you just increase your time to kill by so much, right? Like that. I don't think there's any reason for that in Modern Warfare, where the time to kill is like 2 to 3 bullets from an LMG at pretty decent ranges. So I don't think you need to like. I don't think it needs to be that short, especially if you get armor. And it'll just be like another bullet or two. Like it won't be too bad. I think it'll be okay. But
I was more just worried about it getting to like that crazy like 200, 250 XP or 250 HP, like where you're just like people are just tanking and then they get to run away and heal or whatever. Like I just don't. I don't know. Like
yeah, we'll see. I think hopefully Activision like learned a lot, and Infinity Ward has at least looked at some of the data from Blackout. Yes, we'll see. Just rumored right now, but I mean we're pretty sure it's gonna come out.
I'd be more than willing to
bet money on this.
Bet money on that. Yeah, especially just because like all of the ground war maps like seem to be the making of just like one giant. Like I've even heard people looking around and like being like, hey, like you can almost see where like these other locations like are on the map. Like when you look.
Well,
like,
that's what the ground war maps are just taken from the Spec Ops maps.
Right.
So Spec Ops maps might just be the Battle Royale.
I don't know. We'll see. I'm kind of interested to see how it'll work, because just the gunsmith is much different than how I think Black Ops 4 even did attachments. So we'll see. I don't know. I'm excited.
It'll be nice.
Clayton, do you want to get into our next topic, the new CS
Operation?
Yes, I haven't. What did it say? Like 910 days after Hydra.
Yeah,
over 2 years.
Yeah, which is ridiculous because I know before Hydra it was at least a year since they put these operations out so slowly.
When did this game go free to play? In that time.
When Danger Zone released.
Danger Zone released like about a year ago, I believe.
Yeah,
Which is crazy. I can't believe that game that's already been out for a year.
So.
But yeah, so CS:GO has a new operation, Operation Shattered Web. Purchasable DLC for CS:GO. Got new community maps, some weapon collections, an upgradable coin, some new unique base and mission content.
Yeah, standard stuff. Typically, I think there's 4 new collections. Looks like they've changed some like post game like awards type stuff. You get like different recognitions for different stats in game.
Yeah, taken from like Overwatch kind of
Yeah.
style thing. Not only that, new community made Danger Zone map was added to the rotation, and a new map for Flying Scoutsman missions.
Which are just silly.
They changed some of the casual and map pools.
Scrimmage rotations, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think the biggest change, which is, at least I wasn't expecting anything like this to happen, is player customization.
Mhm.
So they're like tiered player skins similar to like their weapon skins in game. You can kind of customize your players, which is nice.
I think it's really funny because like the way that the weapon skins work in CS:GO just make me like I think it's kind of funny sometimes, but like to have player models attached to that, I think
Yeah.
it's a little funny.
Can we talk about the most important thing though, and the SG being increased or returned to $3,000 buy?
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see how that affects, because I know after the price change originally that the AUG and SG flipped into meta, because a while like people acknowledged that they were always better than the AK and the M4, and so but I think the price difference was at least 1 nade typically, so they switched into meta. I know the AUG got bumped back up, so that kind of fell out. But
Did you see too that the FAMAS and the Galil both
The-
got buffed,
the low
and their
rifles, yeah.
and their
cheaper
price?
too.
No, oh wait, they're cheaper.
Yep.
Yeah, cheaper
By
by
like
200.
Oh, I
$200.
thought that it was saying that it increased it, and I was like, oh, how do you feel about that? Because I
No.
feel like that would shift the meta. If it,
Well,
if
it's
they-
still going to shift the meta.
Yeah,
But yeah, I think
Galil
they're
and-
as expensive as SMGs.
they're a
some of them,
little
at
bit more
least.
expensive. I think I think only like the P90. I don't remember what the prices are. But I know that like having it at $1,800 in game for FAMAS and Galil, 1,800 and 2,050. Like that's
Yeah.
pretty cheap for a rifle in a CS:GO match.
Yeah.
So
Especially with the increased range over SMGs.
yeah, and you get like a nicer spray pattern now.
Yes.
So that's a super big buff.
How would you guys feel about having like some kind of econ system implemented into COD, like competitively? I mean, do you
I
think
just
that
don't
would ever
think-
be workable or no?
No, just because I don't think COD takes itself seriously enough for that,
Mm.
and I don't know.
I don't even know how you would implement it. That's the bigger problem.
You'd have to somehow make it so that
It'd be like, okay, here's how COD could possibly do it. Okay, basically, you bring back the pick 10 system, but it's based on how many round wins you have, right? You basically make how much you can customize your gun or your nades or whatever based on like a pick 10 kind of system, but have it vary with, like you only get like 1 or 2 points for your first round.
I was kind of just thinking of it along the lines of like how gunfight is right now, where you spawn with this like kind of random loadout, like just kind of having this idea where like basically like through like your first round of maybe like this gunfight like variation would be like no weapons, and you would like maybe only have your knife, and it would be a knife round, and then whoever wins the knife round might have a little bit of an advantage for the pistol round and like that sort of thing. And like
that would be interesting.
that's kind of my idea, but
I think they could genuinely do a CS:GO style of game, but I don't know how much fun it would be, really.
Yeah,
And
I
how like easy it would be to just like play a match, because CS:GO is kind of simple in terms of like purchasing things, and to make an econ like it's such a weird part of CS:GO, but it's at the same time it's what makes it unique.
Yeah.
So I don't know how other people could even like try to implement it.
Yeah.
Other than like
it'd be
in a
interesting.
convenient way, because it makes sense in CS:GO, but like trying to translate that wouldn't be super intuitive.
No.
So I don't know. I'm excited to see this new like content, new stuff for CS:GO is always fun to watch.
Especially because it's so rare.
Yeah, seeing the new 2 clicks Philip video.
Yeah.
What
Always
about
fun.
this co-op campaign they added to the game?
Yeah, it was like
That's kind of weird.
similar to like the Wingman they had. I think it was called Wingman in Hydra, and they're just like, and I haven't played this operation yet, but it was just kind of like these challenges: get so many kills with this weapon with you and a friend
Oh.
against AI.
That's weird.
Yeah,
Kind of pointless.
that's how you tiered up your challenge coin. I'd imagine it's the same in this one.
Yeah, I think the co-op things are really like fun and interesting to watch, because it like lets Valve do competitive things like introduce stims and stuff like that. I think, or like let you use stims and like stuff that's not like super common in CS:GO,
Yeah,
which I think is works the game's strong suit, because like there's just some weird stuff in the engine, and so just like letting you run free with that is kind of fun.
yeah. Plus, CS:GO is such a competitive game by nature that it's kind of nice just to chill on a co-op mode or something with a friend.
Yeah, having something like just easy and not super sweaty.
are we segueing the co-op thing to Steam Remote Play, which I think is actually a cool feature?
Yeah, so we talked about it a few weeks ago. Steam Remote Play is released, and because it's released, there's actually a big sale on Steam Remote Play games. So if anyone was interested in Steam Remote Play, like now is a really good time to like buy some games and like play with your friends over the internet. Some like really simple co-op games.
Can you remind them exactly what it is? Because like for me, like I know that it's basically just the host PC, like whoever hosts the game is the only person who actually has to actually own
Buy
the
it,
game,
yeah.
which I think is like one of the biggest perks of this is just like I get to go and try a game potentially. You know what I mean?
So basically, one person owns a license of the game, and then they stream it to the other person, but it acts like they're playing on the same computer. So a person over the internet is basically playing like they're next to you when they're not. So I'm trying to see if there's any like any games listed here. But
Any Lego games? Lego Star Wars, dude?
I think literally the entire Lego.
All of them?
I
I
think
mean,
all of
that'd
them.
make the most sense.
But yeah, apparently the beta test obviously went super well. So now it's fully released. Connection quality might be the only problem, but like that kind of makes sense. Any other service that does anything like this is like obviously gonna have connection problems. But I mean, it's just a nice feature to have integrated into your service. This is a really really good step for Steam. So I'm honestly like
Boom still has the best launcher, and it's not close.
I might
It's
go
not
buy some
close.
games. You want to play some Lego Star Wars later?
I already have it, bro.
Genuinely,
You
I'm
can-
gonna go-
You can host onto it. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it'll be super fun. Play some Battlefront. Honestly, that'd be super
Battlefront
fun.
2?
Yeah,
And you
I-
can also play from your phone now, can't you? Certain games.
I think so. I'm not entirely sure on that one.
So I wonder if you can plug a keyboard and mouse into your phone. Because
Android
Android
phones.
supports
And
that.
yeah,
And then
Yeah.
just PC game right from your phone.
That'd be sick.
That'd be
Honestly.
something else.
So next thing, BioWare. So if anyone has been paying attention to gaming news over last year, they know Anthem was a game. It was
Was
a
it?
game,
It-
Are
kind
you
of.
sure?
It was not a really good game, and BioWare admits that. Apparently, BioWare is reportedly working on a complete overhaul of Anthem. People are calling it Anthem 2.0 or like Anthem Next. So basically, Anthem was it was a looter shooter kind of game in the vein of Destiny, Borderlands.
yeah.
Yeah, so it launched and it had a lot of issues. It's so buggy and it had so many loading times and the end game grind wasn't super good and it was a mess. It wasn't a very good game and the story was kind of rough. So BioWare is now reportedly working on a just complete overhaul of the game, just kind of like taking the game and just fixing it because it doesn't need fixes. It just needs redone, most of it. So I'm excited to see how to go because I think Anthem has a lot of potential in terms of like the way that the gameplay looks and the movement and the customization and stuff like that. But seeing its launch and how bad it looked, like, ugh.
Didn't it only get like not even a year of development? And like they was like rushed out, like they rushed developers.
I don't know how long it was in development for, but
I heard it was bad behind the scenes in terms of making the game.
I'm sure it was. One of the biggest features of the game was almost going to be cut. The flying feature that like most people like in the game was cut, except one of the higher ups somewhere was like, "Hey, you should add that back. I really like that." And then they did, and then everybody liked it. So it's just that game is a mess, but like I really think it's interesting to look at. It's very beautiful. I like the atmosphere of the game. And a lot of other people, at least on Reddit, have agreed that it's regardless of the gameplay, it looks really nice.
Yeah,
But
you
it
can
just-
tell there was like some glimmers of love put into it.
Yeah, so it's really rough to see how bad some of the other like the dialogue and just the design of some of the parts and how like it just doesn't feel fluid. It's not like a really solid gaming experience. It's just very very clunky for a game that released in like this year. It's like just not super solid. You know what I mean? So I'm honestly very excited to see when we'll get to see like results from it, any like patches, because at least over the last few years, games of like as a service games have always released garbage. It's just a fact of life.
And to be honest with you too, like I really worry about just coming from a generation of people who, or like for me, like my first console ever was a PlayStation 2, right? When you get a PlayStation 2, you don't connect it to the internet, you get a disc, and then that disc, glitches and all, is what the game is. Like there's no such thing as a patch, right? And like people today, like even kids today who are playing games, literally will go buy $60 releases and support companies, have the games be bad, and then just and that's expected, and then wait just a year to just get it to be good.
Yeah.
And it's just like
It's bewildering because
it's terrible business practice. Like it's just bad. Like and by the time we get to that year, I almost guarantee that the game's worth half its price. And the $60 game tag thing hasn't changed since the 90s. it's so confusing. Like a lot of the things about like the business of video games to me, like just don't make any sense. Like I even like think about like full release movies, right? That's maybe 2 to 3 hours of content, and maybe if you watch all the special features, which people don't really do, maybe you get to 6, right? Games can be like, if games aren't 20 hours long, a lot of us are like, why is this even worth playing?
$60.
And like there's just a bunch of just like I just try to run the math in my head, and I'm like, what's happening?
Not only that, I just feel like I don't understand. Like, I feel like, at least me personally, I would pay more money if games were like finished when they came out. Like, I'll pay $100 because that's like the price of what it was in the 90s. Like, I'll pay $100 for a game, but like, it better be freaking good and be polished when I pay for it.
It better not need a 50 gigabyte day one patch to fix everything that was wrong with it.
Like,
that should just
some stuff you can't anticipate, right? Like, if you have server stuff that, like, just because of the population you had on a beta, it's like it didn't work, right?
Did you talk about the Anthem flying thing too?
Yes,
How it almost got removed. Oh.
Yeah, I just don't understand how some games like release that way, because it's like I'll pay you more, just fix it when it comes out. Make it good. Like, Fallout 76 is still one of the worst games I've ever seen, and like, they expected people to not only buy the game but buy the subscription service.
Yeah. Well, and there's just so much that goes into specifically game launch times. You know, like where it would fall in development, how long it's been in development for, but even like from like corporate side, like where it would fall in the quarter and how that would reflect to your shareholders. So if you've had a very, very bad month and you want to kind of make it look better, rush a game, get sales, spike at the end of the quarter, and then just patch it through the next quarter.
I just don't understand why they can't, like, why it's so competitive that we can't just like have good games and sell better and make more money off of it that way.
It's the suit and ties, man.
I don't know, man.
wonder
It's just so
if
frustrating.
If they depend on the sale of the game to fund the development of the game. So like, oh hey, we made $1 million off of selling this game. Now let's start developing the game.
I think the part of the problem as well is that some people don't even depend on the sales of the game. Some people like depend on the after purchasing it thing, and that's kind of okay. But like, I don't know. It's just frustrating because as a consumer, it's just like I want like a finished product when it comes out.
Yeah.
So Anthem is just disappointing, but like even one of my favorite games, Destiny, was like kind of not good at launch. But like we knew what Destiny 1 was at the end of its life, so it's like, okay, well they'll at least fix it. But like Anthem was just so like broken. They were like, I don't know how they're gonna be able to repair it from this state. 76 is like beyond help. Like it is so bad it is beyond help.
They should take the servers down right now.
They should. And just make a new game. Just say, hey, we messed up. All right, this is our bad. All right, we'll cancel this and we'll come back with you with some good content. All right, good content. All right, let's get off of this topic.
Yeah. So the next topic is that Quantic Dream, the developers of basically their most popular games ever, probably like Heavy Rain, Beyond Two Souls, and now Detroit, which was released I think last year for PS4. Detroit was.
Yeah.
Basically, they are developers who are trying to push the boundaries of what stories can be in games, and like how you can even like have these like interactive experiences where you like almost play a movie type deal, and it's kind of like really cool. Like even like their Detroit game like looks so good.
Detroit was phenomenal.
Yeah,
I've watched so many hours of gameplay of that game. Like I will sit and watch like every option on like almost every conversation, because it's like depending on what you do, it changes the outcome, and it's so cool.
And there's so many branches. It's
so cool like to watch and see what happens. You can so drastically change the course of that game, and it's just like that's like just super awesome to me. Everything about that game is super awesome.
Yeah, and they're coming to PC. Sadly, it's through the Epic Games launcher.
Oh,
that's really unfortunate. But for a game that's as good as Detroit Become Human, like it's kind of worth it. It's for people that are on PC and that like want to play these kind of games, because it's been exclusive for like a long time. So it's nice to finally be able to have it on a platform that at least I play on.
Yeah, no, I mean, I absolutely agree. Because, like, even as a PS4 owner, like, these games should be able to be experienced by more people than just PlayStation users. Is just how I feel about it. Like, plus, like, when you realize that, like, all their games are just these long, just branches of just decisions that you make, and you just get to just see all these different experiences. Like, we were talking about, like, or I was talking about the movie thing. Like, this is literally, like, a really long movie that you get to, like, kind of choose the outcome of. And it's like, yes, obviously it's cool. And yes, obviously it's well implemented. And, like, they're just kind of the best at it currently. Like, other developers have tried to do what they're doing, and they just
I think
rarely pull it off.
Telltale had some pretty good like phrase into that department.
Until they went bankrupt. And
Yeah, which is really unfortunate because I thought some of their games were really good.
and or, like, just thinking about Telltale nostalgia, bro. Like, Lego games, gone. Like,
It's really unfortunate because I think some of the games had potential, but I think
I thought that was Travelers.
no.
I'm shocked.
yeah, yeah.
I'm shocked.
But I think a lot of those games were really good. I think they're really fantastic. They were fun to play. I think part of the problem with those were like just the release cycle. The way that those were sold was like you pay for an episode, which I think really hurt like the way that worked.
Not only that, though, basically, like, they saw success in the Walking Dead games, and then they didn't ever update their tech, and then it started holding them back when they tried to make bigger and better games. Like, I know that was a big part. Like, they never developed a new engine, so, like, all those, like, the Batman Telltale game, the whole Walking Dead thing, like, every season of that, like, it was all on one engine, and it was super old and dated. And then they didn't have the tech to develop they didn't have the money to develop a new engine.
Well, I wonder how much, because weren't they all like officially licensed games? And so I wonder how much of like
Lego game.
licensing
You got me.
affected their bankruptcy.
Yeah, had me shocked there for a second.
Yeah, I don't know. It's really a bummer, but I don't know. I really have no clue, any idea.
So Noah just brought to my attention that I misspoke. Traveler's Tales is in fact the developer of Lego games. It's my fault.
I always remember that T, the lowercase T falling on the giant T at the beginning of the game. So I'm like, I know what I know.
One of the
No one knows.
One of the interesting things I've seen regarding engine development, I don't know if you guys ever played DayZ, but DayZ is also one of those games that's like so broken it's just not worth it.
I played the Arma Daisy
Yeah.
once.
So something at least I heard is this is kind of a rumor. I'm not entirely sure, but Arma is I think set for another release. Like Arma 4 might be coming soon.
Wow.
And they've used DayZ as like a way to just kind of like test it and start developing tech for the new engine. So I'm not entirely sure, but like I've heard a lot of like part of the reason why DayZ like never really got fixed at an appropriate rate for that developer was just that like they've been working on Arma instead, because Arma's a much bigger release and it's used in different ways. I don't remember what. I'm not entirely sure, but like I remember like hearing that like Arma's supposed to be like a really big release.
That's another game that gets a lot of the role playing thing, like that simulation thing that we were talking about. Like there's like whole servers just dedicated. Like they have like policemen and
Yeah,
like
full on wars and something.
right, like crazy stuff. Like
If you've ever seen any gameplay of EVE Online as well, EVE Online is
Is it the spaceship one? Where they like gather up and like they travel like one
There
trip took a year or two.
there are literally people in some like simulation games that like live a life and like own galaxies.
and like that's
Yeah.
what they're about, bro. And like I have no issue with it because like I think it's super cool and it lends to that whole like Ready Player One fantasy, like
Yeah.
where we're headed.
It's so cool seeing like the psychology and sociology of like you're like just a regular guy, but like you're able to like not only make money, but like basically run some stuff in like this game and have it
Yeah.
like have an impact on the game
Well,
world.
some of them, like I watched a video of like some of the like crazy things in these simulation guys, and this team, I forget what game it was, but it was one of those like big like space travel games. They tracked this one guy for 3 years. They figured out like his routine of when he'd get on and off because he had this really expensive ship apparently, and they tracked it for like 3 years across like galaxies, and like they figured out his real life schedule of when he'd log on to games. That way they knew exactly where he would be, and then they finally stole it from him.
Yeah,
3 years.
See, like things like that, it's just like No Man's Sky is such a pale imitation in that regard of like the actual simulation of like galaxies and stuff. Because like if you have a big enough player base, it doesn't need to be super huge. Like if you have a decent player base, you can like have people run and like just make the world a little bit smaller or like more conducive to actually having people in the same place. Like EVE Online is one of the craziest games I've ever like seen. There's like things that have sold in that game for multi-million dollars. Like it is insane. Next topic.
Yeah, we got the beta for
Combat Evolved.
yeah.
So like we said, I think 2 weeks ago, Master Chief Collection is coming to PC. Last time it was Reach. This time, Halo Combat Evolved is coming to PC. The beta test is coming really, really soon. I'm not entirely sure when. They said sometime around the holidays. So we'll see exactly when that is. But anybody who's a Combat Evolved fan should try to get in on this beta. I'm so excited for Halo on PC. I genuinely am.
Especially because it looks like they're not gonna screw up. Because like I'm seeing like uncapped frame rates, FOV sliders. Ooh.
They're just doing a
Different
good,
aspect
good,
ratios.
good
You
You
release.
say FOV slider, and I'm in.
Me
Now I
too,
don't.
bro.
Now I get to see part of Master Chief's arm. Thank you.
Oh boy, but I genuinely just like I think that Halo is one of the series that could like do so well on PC. That it's just like it's baffling that it's taken this long for it to get back to PC because Combat Evolved released on PC as
It's
well.
such a raw aim FPS too. Like it's not really a movement shooter at all. It's literally just like you
Can
pick
you
and you
use
pick and
a
shoot.
mouse?
Yeah, that's why
can
I was
you
so
use a
bad at
mouse?
But yeah, I'm excited to play it. I'm gonna try to get into this beta, see how it plays, see how it feels. I'm just genuinely like super excited to play Halo. Just all the game types are just so fun. The vehicle movement on PC will be a lot of fun. I don't know.
The next topic though is GTA 6 might I'm assuming I don't think this will be a release, but I'm thinking it might get revealed 2020.
So yeah, apparently City Morgue, a hip hop group, teased a collab with Rockstar Games for summer of 2020. And normally, in what we've seen with GTA, GTA has featured some actual artists collabing with Rockstar to make music stations and for hip hop for DJs in at least one of the DLCs where you like can own a nightclub. So we're thinking it might be either a teaser for something in GTA Online, maybe something like along the lines of Frank Ocean's like radio channel, or it might be something like a release of the game. But this would honestly be a really, really good time to release GTA 6. I'm not sure if they're going to be doing the 70s like Miami theme. I'm very interested to see how this game even like plays.
I've actually been like City Morgue doesn't fit the 70s theme, so people are also speculating that it could be basically just like some other game somehow. So I don't really know. I guess it's not much to say about it other than that like it's cool that we get to see a leak that might actually tie us to something definitive maybe.
Yeah, after so much of like
Just waiting,
just,
really.
yeah, this GTA has been so like quiet in the last few uh like months even. Like Red Dead has been taken over, but like people have been begging for GTA 6 for such a long time. GTA 5 still holds up in terms of like a lot of things, but like just like an engine update would be nice. Just something new.
I hope they fix the online. There's nothing. It's not broken. I'm saying, but
It
like
is broken. GTA Online is one of the
Well,
most broken multiplayer games
I'm,
ever.
I'm just talking in terms of their stinginess, their greed, where like you're almost pushed into either hacking the game, which they don't like, or buying their shark cards, or grinding for hours on end.
See-
I wish they'd lower that grinding time just by a bit.
I think that the grinding is integral to the part of the game.
I just think it's too long.
I don't totally
I mean,
disagree.
it works. All right. At the beginning of the release, like we were talking about how things come out kind of broken. No, I'm with you 100% because you basically just sat there and you did races like endlessly to like try to get like pennies. But like now with the implementation of like businesses and stuff, I feel like they're still grindy. They're still definitely grindy, but like there's easier ways to make. But I don't know. How do we take into account inflation in GTA? Because there is kind of inflation. Like as the game has gone on longer,
There's been more expensive stuff.
more expensive stuff.
But
And like,
even still, like the businesses that you're able to do now, like you're able to make millions of dollars in a night. It's not too
And
hard.
Even like, if you're on a public server, you're not going to be doing deliveries because there's always that one person flying around with a jet, ready to make $1,000 by
The Oppressor
destroying
Mark II is worse. The Oppressor Mark II is a flying bike. It's a hover bike, and it has missiles and
Yeah.
countermeasures for some reason, and it's just broken. Every like person who wants to grief uses it, but it's just so weird.
why they
But-
give it flares, bro? That's what I still can't figure
don't
out.
know,
Like,
but
all right, you're already driving a flying motorcycle. Let's make sure that it can't be shot down. Thank you.
I don't
just
know.
network switch
But at the same time, I think GTA is really fun. But it's like it's weird, really weird because you wouldn't think of it, but I think GTA is like an MMO.
Oh,
I can see
100%
that,
is
yeah.
an MMO.
It's just really weird to think of it in that way because it seems more like I don't know. It just doesn't seem like it should be an MMO, but it acts exactly like an MMO, and it just tastes like an MMO, looks like an MMO, feels like an MMO. It's probably an MMO.
Love one.
But it's just really really strange that it's I don't know.
It's definitely not marketed that way. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, it's just like kind of a real life simulator kind of thing. I don't know. It's really strange.
I just think like, in terms of they keep adding these really powerful vehicles. So people starting out, they have to do that initial grind, with the heists to get their businesses, and then they gotta deliver stuff to the business. It takes a while for you to build up to get your own Hydra, and even then, like,
It's possible
it's
though.
just
Like I've done it.
it's tedious.
Of course, it's tedious, but I mean, it's possible.
And
People
then on
can do it.
PC, people just hacking the Hydra and grief for fun.
Yeah, it's
which
super
is-
easy, super easy. But whatever. I think GTA 6 will be a lot of fun. Really, the story even is just that's one of the most things I'm most excited about because GTA 5 was pretty crazy, at least in terms of story. And I think it was like pretty iconic even to this day.
Oh no, 100%. Like, I mean, and I think that's been typical for most GTA stories. Like, even going back to like Nico. Am I wrong?
Nico Bellic,
Bellic?
yeah.
Yeah, like that's like an iconic like character in games now.
People
like,
still like Nico. Like, I'm so
let's go
excited.
bowling.
I'm very excited because I even watch GTA like speedrunners. Like I think the story is interesting and like really really fun to like listen along to. Even if you don't get to get all of it in a speed run, it's still really fun.
There's that guy. I don't know how I found this. It must have got recommended one time. Who just like breaks down a speed run.
Versus casual. That
Yeah.
Friendly Baron.
Super interesting.
Yeah, super interesting YouTube channel. I really like the concept too. Basically, he takes a casual-ish kind of attempt for the mission structure, and then he shows what the speedrun does in order to save time. And he just like GTA 100 or any percent speedrun is like a 6-hour run, which is a really long any percent run for this kind of game.
Any game
Any game, 6-hour run
for
is
any
really long.
percent is like
But like I
Especially
watch,
considering come like 5th hour and you make a mistake and you just
Yeah, you're done.
you're just
you
done.
just-
You just have to end the stream for the day because you can't make another run. So like I even watch Ocarina of Time streams, and the 100% category is 4 hours long. Like you can do the whole game in 4 hours. GTA as fast as possible is still more than 6 hours.
Zelda speedruns are still the like best content on the internet. They're so much fun to watch. Just watching people do like exploits for that game is just like
Zelda and Mario 64 I think are some of the most interesting speedruns to watch. If you don't watch speedruns, I think that like
You're not a
really,
gamer.
you're really missing out.
you're not a gamer.
It's such a unique community too, because there's so many like there's people that just they speedrun for fun, but like they try to be like get better and better, and I think that's super fun to watch, and just like the interactions people have. Like Clint Stevens, not a super like he's not a top player in Mario 64 or Ocarina of Time when he was running that, but like super interesting guy to watch, right? He's just really funny, and just his whole chat is honestly hilarious. So it's just like that kind of stuff is just really unique to speedrunning. There's just some really hilarious.
I don't know
people.
when it happens this winter, but Awesome Games Done Quick is a great like charity type speedrunning thing. And
Yeah.
like I know whenever that comes out, I'll make sure to promote it. But
HDQ is one of my favorite runners. ZFG is running Ocarina of Time 100%. No source requirement, which is basically like you can do the game, the full game, but you don't have to get every item from where it's supposed to, so it's not like 100% where you need to just get every item impossible. So there's some crazy glitches. He does some tempos like so backwards. It's hilarious. I really love some of the speedruns things these people can do. It's so crazy, the movement tech and stuff. But yeah.
we moving on to Pokemon.
Yeah. So Pokemon Sword and Shield came out. Has anyone played it or anyone intended to play it?
No, I haven't. I might pick it up for my Switch and just try it out.
I'm considering like asking my brother to like let me borrow it, just like to play around for a little bit because it seems really interesting. But obviously it's released to some controversy. There's a few different problems. People are complaining about the graphics, and people are complaining about the fact that there's no national dex.
No national decks.
So people are a little upset that there's no.
They've even gone as far to mod one in.
Yeah, I don't really know why they're so offended about it, because it's just kind of like, whatever. It's just a Pokemon game, but like people really appreciate the stuff that they did in older Pokemon games.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's the
Just
inherent
have-
nature of the Pokemon game is catching them all, and if you don't have a national dex, well,
Yeah, you're just kind of very
you
limited.
can't catch them all.
They cut. s-
Catch some of them.
You also
know.
can't catch them all if you don't go to their special events or buy both copies of the game or trade from previous generations, but no national dex is the big problem.
Yeah, I don't know. One of the other funny things that actually happened is that apparently Pokemon Sword and Shield have caused Roku crashes. So Roku is just a streaming device for
Yeah.
anybody who doesn't know. So it's causing boot loops somehow. Basically, it's anybody that's on the same network as a Roku and that's playing Pokemon will just cause crashes on the Roku.
That's weird.
I
Because
don't-
the game's gotta like find the Roku and like
Mess with it.
mess with it.
So I don't understand.
Maybe Nintendo like hates Roku. Loki. They're trying to sabotage them.
It could be the case.
Or
Yeah.
it's framed from Roku. Roku hates Nintendo.
Roku verified
Oh.
this on Reddit, or maybe this is Nintendo, but it's verified on Reddit that it is causing issues. Yeah, no, Roku has officially said, yeah, there are problems with this Pokemon game for some reason, and that's so bewildering to me. I
We're doing good over here.
yeah, all right, we cool, we cool,
Yeah, just
all right.
So
entire desk.
Disney
so far.
Plus launched. The first
It
day
did.
I know was like pretty suspicious for some people, or at least like the first few hours. They had some crashing issues and that sort of thing.
Not only that, they had some hacking
Thousands
problems.
of
Also,
accounts get
I-
hacked and sold for like $3.
I stayed up the night before. It's past 12 because I was like, oh, whatever. I don't know what time zone it launched at midnight in.
Probably Pacific time.
It's like the Middle East.
No, it wouldn't have been Pacific time because I still had 5 hours at 12. So
Wait, how
middle
late
of
did
the
you stay up?
ocean time, I guess.
Nah, that's London Standard Time.
Oh yeah, because they're 5 hours ahead.
Yeah.
Or yeah.
Yep,
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm right.
who even likes London?
Zulu time, baby. That's a weather thing.
But yeah, I was so sad by that.
Yeah, but apparently there's some freaking kick-ass shows. Anybody who likes Star Wars needs to go watch Mandalorian. Not just for Baby Yoda. It's just really good.
I have to go convince my parents to buy it.
Listen, it's $5 a month. You could.
Yeah. Well, they're paying for Netflix, so I'll just be like, hey,
Hey, you want to bundle
you'll
this,
use
this
I-
too?
we told them they'd use Netflix, and they haven't. So I'll just tell them they'll use Disney Plus, and they won't.
They won't.
And they won't.
So yeah, I don't know. I think that Disney Plus is pretty crazy in terms of just like the fact that they had crashes in the first day because of demand. Like that's
Was extremely high.
yeah. Like that's a lot of people logging into your streaming service.
Especially if you're
Well-
offering a pre-order for for your service, I feel like you have to just expect.
Yeah, it's because they had the numbers. They knew how many people they'd tune in.
Just
And
just
it's
off
Disney.
pre-order.
They got trillions of dollars.
I-
Like, come on.
I think Disney doesn't understand how appealing their own content is. So to have it all release, I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know why it crashed if they didn't expect it, but it's just crazy that there's so much demand that it caused a crash. You know what I mean?
It's fixed now. So the only criticism, I think you really, because I watch it every day. The only criticism you can have is there's no continue watching. Like
Oh.
it saves where you leave off,
We have to go find the show.
but yeah, you have to go and find. So like if you're watching a TV show, you just throw it in the watch list. But I think they said they're adding one.
Even more so, I've been watching like shorts and stuff, and I don't know if it's just not there, if I have to change something in my settings, but like I'll finish like it'll be like a 3-minute short, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it won't just play the next short. Like it's like go select the short, and I'm like, but like
Yeah.
bro, like they're
I think-
3-minute episodes, like.
Yeah.
Oh, do they like the igloo snowman and the snow globe? Those shorts?
Yeah, they've got them all. They've got them all.
Literally anything.
I have to buy that then.
Anything that's not
Go watch the
licensed to
snowman
another.
short.
The snowman.
Yeah, but then you got to click the next episode every 3 minutes. I don't know. It's annoying.
Is there like an add to queue?
We doing a big
Right.
drum roll for the next topic?
It's in-
Noah and I are about to talk. Whoa, I'm gonna let him take the lead because he hasn't spoken that much. Go for it, Noah.
Over last weekend,
Yep.
me and Joey here went and saw a film that I don't know if people here have heard of, but it's South Korean, directed by a South Korean, 100% South Korean movie. It's called Parasite, and I never heard of it. I think I saw a commercial for it from somewhere, which I don't.
Yeah, I
don't know
think I
where.
saw an ad on YouTube just because they know that I like movies, so they just kind of throw stuff at me, even if it's like in foreign languages and stuff.
But I
think.
immediately skipped the ad. So when I saw the
Nice.
movie, I'm like, wait, this looks familiar.
Uh-huh.
But like it was surprisingly good.
At least like as far as like for and I haven't seen like a million foreign films or something, but it's like probably like the best foreign film that I've seen, especially just like it just isn't what you expect it to be at all.
What's it about?
It's all right. It's about like an impoverished, out of work family, and like the son of the family gets offered
Tutoring job.
a tutoring job, but he hasn't been to college, and it's to teach a rich family's daughter English. And so he takes that job, and then from there the story just kind of unfolds. I don't really want to reveal too much about it because I think that's the fun of the movie.
I kind of
Yeah.
want to go watch it now because I think the premise is interesting, and so if you've watched it and you say it's good, like I'm sure it'll be actually doing
Oh
pretty
no,
well.
like it's really good. Like
I don't know if this will spoil it.
Yeah, so probably no.
I don't really know if I want to
you
go
like
into
a
too much
certain,
plot detail.
if you like a certain director, you'll like this movie.
Which director?
Tarantino.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
It is kind of a Korean Tarantino movie, a little
but
bit.
it had more story than a Tarantino
Tarantino.
movie. It felt like there was a coherent story,
Right.
other than Tarantino's like just basic stuff.
I would actually really
I liked
compare
it.
it kind of strongly to Once Upon a Time.
Okay.
Just like the way that story kind of works, if you've
kinda
seen
like-
that, and like
yeah.
even more so, it is kind of a story about class inequality, similar to Joker a little bit.
But it
Joker
was
podcast.
it was
Snuck it in there.
it was different, kinda, without revealing anything. I felt like it.
Oh no!
it
It
favored
definitely
the
goes for like
opposite.
a different twist, but
Yeah.
like for sure you can see,
Parallels.
like
Yeah.
at least like between like kind of empowering impoverished people, more or less,
Okay.
to a degree.
Is this like exclusive? Because where can you see it? Because it's not on.
Yeah, so basically
Some obscure.
select theaters are hosting it currently, similarly to like Jojo Rabbit, which is another movie I'd be interested in seeing. And like the nearest one, the one we went to, was it called the Starlight Theater?
That was like Nightlight.
Nightlight?
In
Okay,
Akron.
it's in Akron. I know if you look up Parasite, like looking for like a movie time, like that'll be probably like the closest one to like our area where we
Is it
live.
still playing it? I wasn't sure if it was like a one night thing or not.
I don't think it was a one night thing, but I would be more than willing. Like, it's a small theater, and I know that they probably do a lot of these sorts of films,
Yeah.
things that are like not necessarily. I guess
Kinda.
it's artsy, but it's more so just like this will never be a mainstream American movie because
Yeah.
like you're similar to like if you enjoy like any amount of like anime or whatever, like you're gonna sit there and read some subtitles.
A
Like,
lot of them, but it's not bad.
it's not bad
I
at
thought it'd
all.
be
Like,
bad,
in
but it
fact,
wasn't.
like there were like I'm 100% sure there were no Korean people in the theater with me, and like people laughed at jokes that were in Korean. Like, it wasn't like you were just looking at this like different culture and just
Yeah.
being like, this is just kind of weird.
You
like
can still relate to it.
you can still relate.
People laugh at anime. I think it's
Oh,
I think
no, I
that's
know.
I think that that's good that it's like relatable.
Yeah.
That it's like it beats land, because if it doesn't, like, that's kind of a
It would be a bummer on,
Yeah.
on the film for sure, but like I don't know, it just works really, really well. And even like the moments where they transition to English sometimes can be like
Yeah, there were some times where they just would say English phrases, kind of like
the rich family more or less spoke a
well,
lot
yeah,
of English.
because they were more globalized.
Mhm.
Yeah. But like, if it is still playing in Akron, it's definitely worth the 50-minute or so drive to see it, I would say.
Yeah, and it's just I don't know, like it's definitely just like you get the feeling like, and I know this is like their like little like thing they say in the trailer, like you get the feeling that it's one thing and it just kind of morphs into this like just what you wouldn't expect. And I don't know, like it works so well. And the setting works really well for the film as well, just because like it shows a very distinct climate.
okay. I mean, I'm interested in seeing it, honestly. Just want to go like out to Cleveland and just binge some movies.
Oh,
I'm
no,
totally-
I
I'm
know.
totally down for that.
Yeah, bro, just buy one ticket, stay in that theater.
I think
man.
that theater's also playing The Irishman, or was playing when it was released in theaters.
It might,
'Cause
yeah.
it had advertised there.
I thought that it released in theaters though in like 7 days. Am I wrong?
Well,
'Cause I thought that Disney had or that Netflix had it exclusive for a month.
I don't remember.
I still haven't seen Irishman, so I feel kind of behind. But
It comes out 27th on Netflix, so. But
Ah.
it's in theaters. I forget what date, but Netflix had messed with its like theater
Exclusivity
showtimes.
deal.
Yeah, so like now it's only showing in like very few theaters. So, the Nightlight in Akron is one of those theaters that's actually showing it. I believe.
Okay, that sounds super fun. I'm honestly, well, I have a bunch of good movies that I need to go see. Speaking of interesting movies, really good segue by me. Thank you.
you're welcome.
So the next Star Wars movie has new director announced, and it is not Rian Johnson.
Thank God.
So
And
yeah,
everyone under their breath, but also straight into the microphone. Thank God it's not
God.
that guy.
so yeah,
All
it's not showing me what his name is, but
I don't think they had. a name.
basically the new movie is scheduled for 2022. It'll be
That's when you guys graduate, right?
yeah.
That's wild.
I think I'm scheduled for 21 still.
What's
I'm never
graduation?
graduating college for the rest of my life. I'm here.
Here
till I'm
forever.
50.
I work at a pizza place.
But yeah, so this new film will come out 2022. Not sure who's gonna direct it. It says, but it won't be Ryan Johnson, and Kathleen Kennedy is still kind of like trying to figure out what to do with Star Wars.
She
So
should quit her job. That's what
Yeah.
she should do with Star Wars. She should quit.
yeah, I'm not gonna say anything disparaging towards Kathleen Kennedy, but all I'm saying is she's doing a fantastic job and slow clapping the mic. Just
George Lucas made a comment where he's like, "This new trilogy sucks. I hate it." And Kathleen's response was, "Well, I understand it can be hard to
a new
hand off a
perspective.
project.
it's a new perspective. Just
New
chill.
perspective. No, you ruined the trilogy, Kathleen."
Oh, it's.
I feel like
I
we
mean-
should have seen this coming. Her name is Kathleen.
True.
I
You
mean,
should have known.
cinematically, still, I enjoy them, but I mean, just the spectacle.
They're
but,
visual
like,
spectacles, not movies.
They're not
all,
movies.
all she had to do was just keep JJ on for all 3 movies.
This is what Scorsese was talking about when he was talking about roller coasters that we enjoy riding. Like that's all that he's talking about. Like
We're
this
fun.
is not something worth.
We're here for the pretty colors, not for the story that you've ruined after 50 years.
Yeah.
Somehow, like I keep thinking about it, and I'm just like, could I have written this movie better? And I'm like,
Yes.
I think,
I have
like,
written.
I have no experience, but like, I'm pretty sure.
I'll give it a shot if it's
Joey's
better than
directing
this.
the
They
next
had the movie
movie.
written for them. When George
Surprise
Lucas sold
announcement.
LucasArts, he gave him a journal saying this is what the next trilogy should be. And Kathleen Kennedy said, wow, this is a nice journal, and threw it in the trash. And here we are.
And hired J.J. Abrams.
So, in tech news this week, Stadia released
We're
2
doing
days
tech news?
ago to a resounding plop,
Yeah.
as it was not very good.
I haven't looked into it,
I
but
could have seen this.
people seem disappointed.
Yeah, it's not like there yet. I think it's like VR, where it'll be a little bit of time before the technology fully catches up to what people are thinking that it's capable of.
It could go with VR. Because, it could go with, what you said, your Oculus, what was it
Quest.
called? Oculus Quest. You can get Stadia on that, and then you don't have the powerful computer. You can stream the VR game to your VR headset,
That'll
and you can
so-
play anywhere.
That'll be so.
Ready Player One.
That'll be so
Player
much input lag.
Can you imagine input lag when you're playing a VR game?
Yeah,
That's what I'm
that'll
trying
be
to imagine.
disgusting.
Vomiting
You'd
everywhere.
be so grossed out. But genuinely, Stadia came out and not super good. A whole bunch of places done some testing. Hasn't turned out super solid. There's up to 600 milliseconds of delay in
Which
terms
is-
of
That's like a full second.
Yeah.
it's really rough. Based on connection speed, it's really rough. On the times that it's not working so bad, it's pretty playable, but you can't play first person shooters or anything that's really complex
And
or
this is
anything
to
that
note
requires
too
reaction
that
times.
Google told you that you could do all those things and that everything would run silky smooth, baby. And it turns out that they were lying.
Did you see they're
they
also lying about the quality of the games, apparently?
Yeah.
Did it launch with any of the Dishonored games? Does anyone know?
I have no clue.
Because the studio that made Dishonored at their E3 conference came out and said, we've made a specific thing that can go on games that helps them stream more efficiently. And they it was this full program that people could incorporate in their engine, and it would work. They made it specifically for Stadia. So you think they'd launch one of their games with their program to show how it works so nicely.
But who can believe what Bethesda really has cooking at this point? At this point, they're just like, hopefully people are still investing in Fallout 76.
Bethesda did not make Dishonored.
Bethesda
Bethesda did not make Dishonored. Dishonored's developed by Arcane Studios,
which
but
is owned by Bethesda.
which is owned by Bethesda.
Okay. But Bethesda's grubby hands
There's-
aren't Dishonored.
There's two
No,
Bethesdas.
I know. I wasn't trying to talk.
There's good Bethesda, there's bad Bethesda. Good Bethesda owns bad Bethesda. And bad Bethesda made Fallout and Skyrim.
So yeah, terrible. So yeah, there's already some competitors that are looking up to be pretty solid. Project X Cloud from Microsoft seems to be much more promising than Stadia ever was. So we'll see if anybody's able to one up Google in terms of actual interactivity, and is somebody as big as Microsoft who's working on Mixer, you know, they can throw money at it.
Yeah.
It'll be good. It'll be good. I'm very excited to see when this releases.
They could pair it with Mixer
Pair it with
instead of streaming. So the thing is, if you streamed a Stadia
Adam.
game to Mixer, you'd have to stream it from Stadia servers to your computer, and then from your computer to Mixer servers, then to the computers. But if Mixer and Microsoft had their own streaming service for games, you could just stream right from their servers right on out. Boom.
so yeah.
Problem solved.
Amazon is offering something similar, and like you said, offers Twitch integration. So
Boom. I'm
Yeah.
ahead of the game.
You're
They
ahead
should
of the
hire
game.
me.
So, I'm really excited to see with Amazon and how this Twitch integration, and then Microsoft working on its own platform for cloud gaming.
That man was brandishing a chair.
They're going wild out there.
Bro, this is Gamer Zone. Who knows what's going on out there?
Oh
Just a bunch
boy.
of sweaty kids in couches. It's cool. I'm a sweaty kid in a chair right now.
But yeah, I really like the idea of cloud gaming, and I don't think it's for us, people that game pretty
Yeah, 'cause
exclusively.
we already have.
we
our
already have
PCs.
we already have our things, but
We're
like
wasted our money.
it is such a good idea for people that like can get an internet and they just want a game on something that's really simple,
just kind of
like
casually
Stadia,
and
Yeah.
on the go.
super casually. Yeah, I think once it gets better and it matures a little bit, like VR, it'll be slowly but surely adopted into the mainstream as like a supplement from people that play maybe mobile games or other types of games that just like they just don't want to pay, they don't want to build a computer because
You know-
people don't like that for some reason.
You know what the target demographic is for Stadia right now?
People that aren't gamers.
Just kids whose parents are divorced and can't get two consoles.
I mean, honestly,
That's it.
Clayton discovered, he figured it out. He's now the head of Google.
The new target audience is divorced children of divorced families. And
Oh,
that's
boy.
specifically how it's advertised.
Large
Are your parents
demographic in
divorced?
America.
Your parents going through a rough divorce and you're the punching bag here
Distract yourself.
with Google Stadia.
You'll only be even more upset at the console for not letting you play the games that you like.
not only is ownership bad, the service is bad. It's not a problem.
You can't
but
mod
I
Stadia
j-
games either.
Yeah,
You can't mod, like that's the whole point of PC. Modding.
but genuinely, I think it'll get really good for people that want to play maybe cinematic games and just don't want to sink their money into like a system, which obviously like I don't super see it, like I don't super agree with because I have my own. I've invested in a PC, but
Well, we're all pretty wealthy white boys here. So
yeah, tech
I
savvy
mean,
as well.
not everyone
Yeah,
can do that.
but at the same time, you know, like people buy consoles, and like instead of just buying a console, like you can just buy a PC and then upgrade it, and that's a much better investment in terms of like long term. But like people don't want to go through the hassle of building a PC because like people just don't get PCs. Like if you understand a PC, you're pretty lucky. It's not that it's that hard. It's just people just like don't get it. I don't know.
It
I don't know what
takes
it is.
time.
even-
And I've noticed too, even after building mine, like you stay on top of it while you're building, but the second you build it and you don't have to worry about getting the best part for like what you need, you just fall behind. Like I'm so out of PC, like new PC tech right now, just because I don't have an immediate need for it.
Yeah.
What do
I
you
mean, I'm
expect?
looking at upgrading in the next few days here. I got to buy parts from
Yeah.
Micro Center, but
RTX 2080 Ti Super coming out might be big deal.
I'm 2 generations behind.
Yeah.
I'm only on 1060, and what that came out like 1 month ago. Well, no, it came out like a year or two ago. They're coming out with graphics cards quick.
well, I mean that's how it's always been though. is that, of course, every year there'll be a slight improvement and a slight improvement and a slight improvement.
Graphics
back,
technology, though, over the course of like even 5 years, have advanced like pretty crazily. If you go from like the 980s to like the 2080, like you see a huge improvement in like
Especially with RTX.
yeah.
They got
RTX
crazy there.
RTX not even enabled. Like just forget. Don't even
Yeah.
worry about that. It's just another thing that you can add as well. But like, just genuinely like the improvement that you've seen over it. So, the 2080 Ti Super is apparently going to be like a 16 gig card and super fast.
I think it's only 4.
Like, it is. It's going to be a monster card. I'm expecting MSRP of like maybe $1,500, maybe.
I'm not spending that.
Joe, you getting the 2080 Ti Super for your?
I don't
upgrade?
have any reason to upgrade my graphics card right now. I'm just really behind on my PC's been bottlenecked for years by my
CPU.
CPU and RAM.
What do you have, CPU wise?
I got an i5 4690K,
Oh,
and then I'm on DDR3, 16 gigs of it.
I think I'm still on DDR3, but I have an i7, 4700K.
Yeah, 4770 is probably a little bit better for the long term, but like it's just there's like I'm I just want to see what kind of crazy like numbers they can push on like Cinebench or whatever with these monster cards, or like what kind of builds. Because something that's really weird though is that instead of pushing like what's it called, where you had 2 cards together.
SLI?
Yeah.
SLI though has been widely disproven as like a stupid thing to do.
No, I know now,
They got
but
rid
like
of it on the new ones, right?
Yeah.
SLI anymore?
they most of them I think don't.
Most
have
of
SLI
them do,
connectors.
and even like if you were SLIing cards, like
It's not well implemented.
it's not well implemented. Not only that, like you get like almost half the performance out of whatever card you're implementing.
It's really
It's
sad
like-
that it used to be such a prolific part of like PC building, or like a possibility to where you buy an intro level card and then you double it because you get another one, and it's just it works better because you have more computing power.
Yeah,
it's just really a bummer that they don't have that too much anymore. But I think that these new cards are huge. They're so freaking powerful.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's always been too that like, to a certain degree, you can always get like kind of this crazy card. Like they've always been out here, but now it seems that I don't know. I guess like the benefit of buying like you said, like a $1,500 graphic card. It's just like you're looking at a very specific. Like what you're like, I don't know, like 4K gaming. Like I assume it's stuff like that you're like really like, because like for 1080p gaming, like you're just killing. Like you're like, I mean, I get it, like too, like spare frames are never bad.
It's
But
not
it's
even
just
for
like-
gaming. I think the value proposition in most cards nowadays is just in the multitasking. So like if you run, if you have a 2080 Ti Super, right? It's not just for gaming, because that's stupid. You play in like 1440p, but then also stream off of the card via OBS or whatever, and just like you're encoding at the same time as you're playing, and it's not gonna hamper your GPU because it's that freaking powerful, which is really nice, and it like adds a lot of value of just like video acceleration, stuff like that. So it's just it's not just buying it for gaming. That if you buy stuff strictly for gaming, it like you shouldn't be buying the super high end cards, because you just kind of lose out a lot of like what your value is.
Yeah.
Last topic before we head off for the night. Lordstown Motors.
Exciting stuff.
Yeah, genuinely.
We don't have to move because this place is dead.
Yeah,
Well,
so
Not yet.
We for sure, for most people, you should move. Just I'm putting this out as a PSA for people from Warren, Ohio. If you think that this is a good place to stay forever, then you're probably trapped here for some.
Unless you're
God
planning on
forsake
developing this place. If you want to develop the place, stay. But if you're not going to make this place better,
Oh God, just I mean, like I wouldn't even. Here's my thing too. Like I have no issue with like people taking their success and then bringing things back here. Like I don't think that that's a bad idea, because I think that overall for this area to prosper economically, we need like innovators, more or less.
we need a new industry. We need to be the center of a new industry.
Right.
which is what
Lordstown
Lordstown
is
Motors
potentially
is
looking to
potentially
be.
going to be. So Lordstown Motors purchased the GM Lordstown plant, which was a big Chevy manufacturer. One of the big banners on the side says "Home of the Cruise." And
Not
unfortunately,
anymore.
they're killing the cruise, so it's not. They decided to cut the.
I'm sorry, bro. I just watched like.
Bro, that
Oh.
was the man with the chair. I don't know what's going on. out there.
They're wild
Sorry. Outside of the booth, we just have to watch these like.
hooligans.
Yeah, hooligans.
I don't even know how to describe these people, but like basically they sit here for like 12 hours a day, presumably, and just do what.
They throw chairs.
I mean, like I just watched like a young lady just get like taken to the ground. I was like, all right,
Interesting.
Continue your story on.
yep, go for it.
Lordstown.
Back to Lordstown Motors.
So yeah, Lordstown Motors is planning to make a really efficient brand of electric trucks, which would be kind of a big deal for this area because to be on the forefront of like electric cars, which are becoming a much bigger thing, to have a plant dedicated to it so close to here would mean like a lot of jobs. They're thinking like at least 500. And as the industry gets bigger around here, hopefully they'll add more and more jobs. They're working on retooling the plant, working on getting capital for basically just reworking the place so it's more suitable for what they want to do with it. But I mean, it's a really, really big deal for us locally because I mean, I had an uncle who had to leave. He lives in Tennessee now. He went from Ohio to Tennessee because GM Lordstown was closing, and he's one of the engineers. So it's like really personal that it's like at least their GM has decided to like actually sell it to Lordstown Motors, who used to be called something else, I believe.
Yeah, they renamed themselves because they wanted that plant so badly.
Yeah, and that's really awesome. I really am as just somebody who's from this area, like seeing something like Lordstown Motors go up is, it's super nice. Obviously, you want like that kind of industry
think-
around here.
That's like one of the last like big plants, because that opened in 1969, and like all the plants started shutting down in 1977, and it's been going downhill. So like with the closure of GM leaving the place, that was kind of like the marking of like that was it,
So the fact that somebody was so insistent on taking it over that this happened is really, really awesome.
They're only 12,600 jobs short of what it used to be.
I mean, hopefully it'll grow back up. We'll see.
The only reason I'm here, my family is here, because my grandpa used to work for NASA up in Cleveland at the airport there, and GM Lordstown opened up, and my grandpa's like, well, that's a good job. I'm moving down here. Brought the whole family down, and now he worked there, so he gets his children get a discount on all GM cars they buy. So now we only shop GM, and then my dad worked at GM Lordstown because my grandpa worked there. So like it was 2 generations, and right as I turned old enough to work, that's when it shut down. So it it kind of made it far. Only 2 generations, but
I mean, it's still like,
it's been a big part of this area.
yeah. Not only that, steel mills as well.
Well,
I remember at Boy State like 3 or 4 years ago, someone asked Governor Kasich at the time, like, "What are you gonna do to bring steel back, bring industry back?" He was like, "I don't know." But I don't know. I'm really excited to see that this is a really big development in terms of like the Warren, Youngstown kind of area. So, yeah, I'm excited. Hopefully something comes with it in the next few months or so,
they need
few
more
years or
jobs
so.
with it.
Yeah.
It needs to grow in jobs before it starts making an impact. It needs to grow in jobs.
Mm-hmm. Which hopefully it will as the industry grows.
That was big. That was Tim Ryan's big idea, was like the new industry is electric vehicles, and if we don't act now, China's going to take it from us. So Tim Ryan's like, we need to bring it here. We need an incentives to get it here, and then he dropped out of the race.
Yeah, so we can have so many other people in the race. I wish Tim Ryan was in. But
Good
on
old
that
Tim.
note,
Good old Tim.
and on that note, I think we're gonna end this show here. Thank you so much, everybody, for listening. If you've even listened this long, we have been Renaissance Boys. You can find us on YouTube at Renaissance Boys. You can find us on Instagram at Renaissance Boys. We have all of our Instagrams posted there. Be sure to tune in when hopefully we figure out how to stream this live next week.
Hopefully.
Yeah. we'll stream this next week, hopefully to Twitch or to YouTube. We'll figure it out. We'll let you guys know. Have a nice night, everybody.